Do you know which satellite Huawei Mate 60 Pro communicates with for satellite communication? Do you know how far this satellite is from us? Do you know how amazed people involved in satellite communication were when they saw the Mate 60, talking about its 3nm chip? Today, let's talk about the Huawei Mate 60 and the Tiantong-1 satellite. The Tiantong-1, also known as the Chinese version of the maritime satellite, is a domestically developed mobile communication satellite by China. So far, 3 satellites, namely Tiantong-1-01, Tiantong-1-02, and Tiantong-1-03, have been successfully launched. After the Wenchuan earthquake, several academicians jointly called for the development of our own mobile communication satellite in China. This initiative aimed to address the issue of people being unable to establish contact with the outside world during emergencies such as natural disasters or hazardous field operations. This led to the launch of Tiantong-1-01 satellite in 2016. It is a geostationary satellite, meaning that it remains fixed in the same position relative to us, constantly hovering above us. This allows for uninterrupted satellite communication within its coverage area. So, how large an area can the Tiantong-1 satellite cover? A single satellite like the Tiantong-1-01 is more than sufficient to cover the entire territory of China. Theoretically, 3 such satellites could cover the entire Earth. However, for a satellite to be synchronized with the Earth, it must be maintained at an altitude of 36,000 kilometers from the ground. In the past, maritime satellite phones had to be equipped with a large antenna to receive signals from satellites at such a long distance. However, the Huawei Mate 60 Pro has achieved the remarkable feat of communicating with satellites over 30,000 kilometers away using a regular smartphone. This is a true leap ahead and cannot be accomplished by relying solely on satellites or smartphones alone. The Huawei Mate 60 Pro requires advanced technology to receive and transmit satellite signals, such as using the new generation of gallium nitride to manufacture RF chips. At the same time, the Tiantong-1 satellite also showcases its leading technology, such as low passive intermodulation (PIM) technology. This is a technical challenge that the international aerospace community has been focusing on. It refers to the interference caused by the high sensitivity of the satellite antenna, which can lead to the reception of unwanted signals. However, the Tiantong-1 satellite has successfully overcome this industry challenge, allowing the Mate 60 Pro to receive clear signals. In this way, you may have understood how difficult it was to achieve satellite communication technology with the Mate 60 Pro. In fact, there were many companies working on it at the time, so why did only Huawei succeed? There is a little story behind it. First on the scene was the leader of satellite telephony, not Huawei, but a satellite communication company under the telecommunications industry. In September 2019, they brainstormed about what they could do with all these satellites. How about connecting all 5G smartphones to satellites? It was a great idea. They wasted no time and conducted a technical assessment in October, which proved feasible. The telecommunications company was thrilled because neither the mobile nor the telecom operators had this capability. They had the monopoly. So, they approached several smartphone manufacturers for collaboration, realizing that they needed their cooperation. However, their enthusiasm was dampened as the smartphone manufacturers found it too challenging and believed it couldn't be achieved. Some companies initially participated in the research and development of satellite communication technology, but they encountered obstacles and eventually withdrew from the project. As the challenges became apparent, many companies were deterred and chose not to continue. However, Huawei remained steadfast and determined to overcome these obstacles. They saw the potential and importance of satellite communication technology and firmly believed in its success. With unwavering determination, Huawei continued to invest resources and expertise into the development of satellite communication technology, ultimately emerging as the sole company committed to making it a reality. The first challenge lies in the difficulty of terminal development. As mentioned earlier, many smartphone manufacturers were deterred by the complexity of the project. So, what exactly made it so difficult? The transmitting capability of regular smartphone antennas is significantly inferior to that of satellite phones. This posed a problem that needed to be addressed. To overcome this challenge, a redesign of the antenna was necessary. The antenna had to be engineered to concentrate its power in a specific direction for extended transmission range. However, this redesign resulted in increased heat generation. Therefore, the thermal design of the smartphone also had to be reimagined to manage the increased heat effectively. Additionally, radio frequency distortion compensation technology was incorporated to further enhance the signal strength. This technology compensates for any signal distortion that may occur during transmission, ensuring a significant improvement in signal intensity. These combined efforts ultimately met the requirements for successful satellite communication transmission. By tackling these technical difficulties head-on, Huawei was able to develop the Mate 60 Pro with advanced antenna design, thermal management, and RF distortion compensation technology, achieving the necessary transmission capabilities for satellite communication. The second challenge was related to network difficulties. The antenna's reception capability was indeed inferior to that of wireless telephony. To address this issue, the gain of the link needed to be increased. However, this would require a reduction in the signal transmission speed, which would result in signal distortion. To mitigate this, the signal encoding needed to be optimized to minimize distortion. Furthermore, a new rate adaptation mechanism was introduced to dynamically balance the audio quality and capacity. In cases where satellite capacity became strained, expansion measures were implemented. This ensured a dynamic equilibrium between audio quality and capacity, but it was another significant undertaking. Moreover, this was not just a theoretical endeavor. Practical testing had to be conducted nationwide, which took approximately 5 months to cover various scenarios comprehensively. The third challenge was indeed the most difficult one. The size of the satellite communication chip used in traditional satellite phones was too large to be integrated into a smartphone. To address this issue, Huawei had to find a way to reduce the size of the chip while maintaining its functionality. The most effective approach was to increase the power output of the chip. By doing so, the chip could be made smaller without sacrificing performance. This required the development of a new RF transceiver chip and a satellite communication baseband chip. However, there were additional challenges. The advanced chip manufacturing process that Huawei relied on faced certain limitations due to well-known reasons. Overcoming this hurdle required the collective efforts of the entire industry chain. Through extensive research and development, Huawei successfully achieved a significant reduction in the size of the satellite communication chip. The chip size was reduced to only 1/10 of its original size, allowing it to be integrated into the smartphone. This breakthrough in chip miniaturization was a critical milestone in the development of satellite communication technology for smartphones. It enabled Huawei to overcome the size limitation and incorporate satellite communication capabilities into the Mate 60 Pro, making it the world's first smartphone with satellite communication functionality. In the past, satellite and ground networks operated separately, using completely different cards. To enable regular telecom cards to access satellite networks, a conversion protocol was developed to integrate the two services. This integration allowed for satellite communication without the need to switch cards. This is why other companies have yet to offer satellite phones, while Huawei stands alone in this field. The reason for Huawei's success lies in its capabilities, vision, and determination. Being a leader in the industry is not just a claim but a result of hard work and innovation. Huawei's commitment to pushing boundaries and delivering high-end products sets it apart from the competition. It is this drive and determination that have enabled Huawei to create the world's first smartphone with satellite communication capabilities. As a breakthrough new technology, there is significant interest in the pricing of the satellite calling feature. Currently, China Telecom offers two pricing options. The first option is a dedicated package for telecom users, which costs 200 renminbi per month. This includes 200 minutes of talk time. If the usage exceeds 200 minutes, an additional charge of 1 renminbi and 60 cents per minute will apply, while satellite messages will be charged at 0 renminbi and 40 cents per message. In addition to the monthly package, users can also choose an annual package for 1,000 renminbi, which includes a total of 750 minutes of talk time and 5 satellite messages. The second option is a basic service fee of 10 renminbi per month for satellite calling, which does not include any bundled talk time. Users will be charged based on actual usage. Domestic satellite calls are charged at 10 renminbi per minute, while international satellite calls are charged at 20 renminbi per minute. Although there have been complaints about the high costs, considering the expensive communication fees of traditional satellite phones and the life-saving benefits in critical situations, many extreme sports enthusiasts and professionals in special occupations such as sailing, fishing, and field exploration have shown great interest in the satellite calling feature. In comparison to mobile applications, satellite IoT has a much broader value, and multiple institutions predict that it may create a trillion yuan level industry value. In the future, as the integration of space, air, and ground networks accelerates, satellite communication will undoubtedly bring more imagination to the market.